top structure, they're completely in control. But as far as like the rank and file, I'm going to vote Democrat, I'm going to vote Republican because it's going to work out. They're losing control of those people.
They are. They are losing control of mainline conservatives and mainline liberals because both are waking up to what's going on in this country. And it can only be described as a socialist tyranny that is coming in incrementally as they really just pull the floor out from under the dollar. And who knows what kind of new currency and institutions they're going to put into place. I thank you for the call, Dan. Rita in Illinois, you're on the line. Yes, Rita. How are you this evening? Go ahead. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you yesterday about that cigarette. Does it really work like a cigarette? Do you feel like you smoke a cigarette?
Well, you know what? It doesn't have quite the same kind of pull. You know, depending on like which one you have. The one that looks like a the one that looks like Hunter Thompson. Surprisingly does pull a little easier. The one that looks like a cigarette doesn't pull as much in. But, I mean, it does kind of act like a cigarette because you hold it in for your lungs for that 1 second. It's not like you're holding it in forever, and then you exhale, and it does give you that sensation. Yeah, and then on top of that, I would say that it does give you the nicotine buzz. So, you know, at least find somebody with it and check it out, or go to a trade show and check it out. I know they have them all over the place now. E-cigarettes choice if you want to get one, but they are pretty cool, and I carry it around. I use it every once in a while, not even being a smoker. You can ask the guys in the office. They kind of tool on me, but whatever. Go ahead, Reed. What else you got?
The reason I called?
Yes.
Okay, the reason I called, you guys were talking about Oklahoma City?
Yes.
Okay, now that Alex had the guy on when they were talking about the states' right, and he said he was just ready, they were just ready to pass the states' rights thing back then.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, first of all,
there goes the building, and now, you know.
Well, that was how they also got into place a lot of their precursors to the Patriot Act, a lot of their counterterrorism legislation and funding. You know, Alex makes the great point in The Road to Tyranny that as these events happen, they get more and more funding and more power. So they take away more of our liberties. They say they're giving us more security, but what they're really doing is they're feeding the bureaucracy with our tax dollars to create departments like the DHS, to create documentation like the Patriot Act and the Military Commissions Act, so that they can set a precedent that our Constitution and Bill of Rights no longer matter under the false guise of terror and the boogeyman.
Well, there's your motive, though. I mean, if they're going to, you know, put in states' rights under Comrade Clinton, you know, and then poof goes the building, and then, well, they're not putting in their states' rights anymore.
You know, and it was also a way to, you know, demonize the militia movement. You know, try to put...
Too.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. They can cover a lot of bases with that, you know?
Yeah,
and then they sent the Scientologists down there to grief counsel them.
Yeah, I hear you, Rita. I thank you for the call. All right, I wanted to read this article. Thank you. Just a little bit of it. Now, this is the journalist I was talking about earlier in the program, Jonathan Kay, that wants to write a book, apparently, about 9/11 Truth and 9/11 Truthers. And although he wrote some pretty demeaning articles about 9/11 Truth itself, this one was rather fair. 3 years ago, Richard Gay says he was just a run-of-the-mill architect designing steel frame buildings for clients in the San Francisco area. In March 2006, that changed. While flipping through stations on his car radio, he caught an interview with David Ray Griffin, a retired philosophy and religious professor who calls the official account of the 9/11 attacks one big lie, which it is. Beginning that day, Gage became skeptical of the idea that people living in Afghan caves could possibly have brought down the World Trade Center. Spreading this skeptical point of view is now the man's full-time job. As radical as Gage's theory may sound to readers, it's surprisingly popular. The 9/11 Truth Movement, as it is now commonly called, has millions of adherents across the world. Many believe that the World Trade Center was destroyed on September 11th through controlled demolition set in motion by officials within America's own government and military. That's also pretty fair. In 2006 Scripps Howard poll of 1,010 U.S. citizens, 36% of respondents said it was very likely or somewhat likely that the U.S. government was in on the 9/11 plot. According to another poll conducted in Canada, 39% of respondents said they either disagree or are unsure that Al-Qaeda was responsible for 9/11. What makes Gage stand out from the millions of students and young activists who comprise the bulk of the truther community is that he is an architect, and a respectable-looking middle-aged one at that, complete with a suit and tie and a receding hairline. His group, Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth, even scored a booth at the upcoming American Institute of Architects Conference from April 30th to May 2nd. Last Saturday, I went to see Gage speak at a Montreal event hosted by the movement I can't even pronounce that, along with 150 others. Not a bad crowd, given the $10 cover charge and the fact it was hockey night. As part of my research for a book I'm writing on the Truther movement, I've gone to see a variety of events like this, but none of the speakers I've seen are as lucid as Gage. Truthers often are prone to rambling. Your average speaker at a 9/11 Truth event taking the podium with an overflowing sheaf of internet printouts might start his presentation on the mechanics of the World Trade Center attacks, segue into a denunciation of George W. Bush's war crimes, and then veer into a lengthy disquisition of the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, before bringing the audience back to the Twin Towers. Not Gage. His singular focus laboriously examines a 527-slide PowerPoint presentation, is the sequence of events leading to the collapse of the World Trade Center buildings. Expertise is critical to the mission of architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth, he says. We're building and technical professionals. Gage told the audience, we're not conspiracy theorists. And, he does stick to it, and we had Gage on, and this guy actually brought one of his friends who, usually scoffs at these kind of ideas, and by the end of the presentation, the only person that had raised his hand and said that they believed the official version was the author of this, out of 150 people, and even the person he brought wasn't buying it. Final segment of the Infowarrior on the other side, 866-582-9933. Arizona Bay. Final story of the evening. Google utilities bringing energy usage data to consumers in a move to connect the emerging smart energy grid with the internet. Oh, they're going to connect the smart energy grid with the internet. Look at that. Google on Wednesday announced partnerships with 8 national and international energy companies to allow consumers to access data about their energy usage through Google Power Meters gadget. Folks, this is not going to be a fun gadget. This is the beginning steps to acclimate you to checking on how much power you use, because you're going to be taxed for it, and Google is going to help. Google Power Meter is a software application that can be embedded on the company's iGoogle personal homepages. It displays data about home energy uses, data provided by the new generation of network-ready smart power meters that are being installed by various utilities around the world. Armed with information about their energy use, consumers can modify their appliance usage habits to save energy and money, and doing so allows utilities to operate more efficiently. Google partners are San Diego Gas and Electric Company in California, TXU Energy in Texas, GEA in Florida, Wisconsin Public Service Corps, White River Valley Electronic Corporative in Missouri, and the list goes on. Basically, throughout the country and into Canada, this is coming for you. Google is going to weave its way into your life, even if it's not there yet. Whether you like to use the search engine or not, whether you use third-party search engines like Webcrawler or Dogpile, Google wants in. Do you? That's why Google bought YouTube. They are propping Google up as the next Microsoft. Google's going to have its new operating system out soon. It's not just going to be for these Android phone systems. It's going to be for laptops. So Google really coming in. So what else did we talk about today? Police brutality. We played the flip over. I mean, if you missed that, that's why you need a PrisonPlanet.tv membership, folks. You can support us. I'm pretty sure that we have the new reflections and warnings from Aaron Russo up on the site, and we're also offering that on DVD, as well as Aaron Russo's Mad as Hell and a bunch of great T-shirts. We also discussed the SEC disbanding. On top of that, we did a little Robo-Penguin action. We're warning you. They're telling you they're using robots to kill people in 3 Middle Eastern nations right now, as we speak. I mean, for real. And these robots are only getting scarier and scarier, more frightening, and more intelligent. I mean, this guy is talking about making AI for these kind of robots that are going to basically gun down children in third world nations. Do you want that on your soul, America? Land of the free, home of the brave, land of the robot that kills children, USA. USA. Well, that's not my thing. I'm not all about killing women and children. Who knew? Actually, I'm about love, peace, happiness, hugs, kisses, teddy bears, cotton candy, good times, movies with friends, cruising down the street, loving life. That's what I'm about, not robots killing people. You want that? Go check out Terminator Salvation. I'll go check that out too. That'll be entertainment. That's not real people dying by robots. But we have that now. It's not just drones anymore. It's AI intelligent killers, and it's a